Hey everybody. I wanted to share my recent run of bad luck that I had. All that piping and that cap and all that wire is nice and pretty and new, right? And all that is 120 feet of PVC pipe that came out of there on Mother's Day. Right after we got through eating Mother's Day dinner, my well pump went out. And like any diligent person, the first thing I did was check my pressure switch, and naturally that's the easiest and least expensive fix, so naturally it was not damaged or broken. So after a few hours or hour or so of fiddling with it, I finally determined that it's got to be a pump problem. So I bought the homeowner's warranty when I purchased this house, which we moved in November, and it's currently May, so homeowner's warranty is still very much in full effect. I called them and they put an emergency work order in for the well pump, and which I thought, hey, that's great. I'll have it back up and running in the morning. Well, there's only one well service in my area contracted with my homeowner's warranty people, and he already had jobs lined out for Monday, so it wasn't going to be till Monday night before he got there. So it was 7-8 o'clock before he finally got here to change out this well pump. So that's 24 hours without water, which may not sound bad, but if you've never gone 24 hours without having running water in your house before, it can be a challenge, to say the least. Bear in mind, we do have 3 small children in this house. Myself and my wife live here, and my mother stays on the property also, and we are all dependent on that well. I was very excited when I moved in here and found out this property had a well, and I was not going to be dependent on city service. The less I'm dependent on somebody else, the better I feel. So but when the well pump goes out, you're out of water. There's just no two ways about it. So buying that homeowner's warranty was probably one of the best decisions I think I've ever made. It had a $60 deductible, and he came out and did $1,400 worth of work to it. So I was pretty happy with the end result, but it was a challenge, to say the least, going 24 hours without water. Now, I'm sure you've seen my videos where I've showed my water storage, and walk around here to the other side and show you what we did. And my back porch is a perpetual mess. It doesn't really matter how much I clean it. My 3 kids are gonna make sure it's cluttered up for the next day. We use these aquatainers, which worked fantastic. I filled them up a year or maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. I should have wrote the date on it and I didn't, but I filled it up with filtered water and then treated it with the safe dose of bleach. I can't remember what it is. Very, very small amount, but the water was still tasted wonderful. It was clean, clear, no problems with it. So that, in conjunction with my numerous gallon jugs of water, which I think I had around 50 gallons if I'm not mistaken. Total water storage I had on hand was about 75 gallons. But anyway, we screwed that spigot in, and that spigot comes on the aquatainer. Laid it on its side and set it right by the sink and used it as a sink. It's basically water on tap for the sink. And it worked very well. We went through both of them, and an additional probably 10 gallons of the gallon jugs of water in 24 hours. So that's a third of my total water storage. in 24 hours. And it's supposed to be, what, 1 gallon per person per day? That's what FEMA says. Maybe that's just to sustain life, but that's certainly not living comfortably. So the premise of this video is to tell you, take however much water you think you might need, double that, and then you're probably getting close to how much you might actually need. There's no substitute for water. There's no replacement for water. You have to have it, and it is one of the hardest things to store because it takes up so much room. My next plan is to get 2 of the IBC totes and put them next to that other side of that condenser and catch the rainwater. And you can see I have a huge roof that I couldn't even tell you what the square footage of the roof is, but I can imagine I'll get plenty of water off of it. We don't get a whole lot of rain down here, but when we do, it usually comes a good one. And one of the ways we use to conserve water is when we would take and we didn't take full-blown baths or showers. We just fill up a 5-gallon bucket. I say fill up. I boiled water, poured it in the 5-gallon bucket, and then mixed cold water with it, and then we just used that to kind of sponge off and soap up and rinse off with, and then just left the water sitting in the bathtub. And I used the bathtub water to refill the tanks on the toilet, so we could actually flush. There wasn't anything wrong with the septic system. It's just the well pump went out. So that was how we kind of adapted and overcame. And one of the tricks that I learned, instead of having to boil water and wasting all that energy, if you've got gallon jugs, leave them sitting outside all day. By the time evening time rolls around, you get ready to take your shower or your bath, that water's pretty warm, and you can take a pretty comfortable bath with it. So we'll keep you posted as I do the IBC totes. I actually have a plan to backfeed water through that spigot right there on the side of the house with a little pump that I have to hopefully get enough pressure to push it to the spigot at the kitchen right behind that window, and then the master bathroom's right behind that wall. So hopefully we'll have enough pressure with that little pump to fill up toilets and run sink water and stuff like that. I have a generator that will run the well pump, but that solar that I have is not near enough to run that well pump. It is, however, enough to run the small pump I just mentioned, pulling it out of the IBC totes and backfeeding it through the house. I don't have any idea whether or not that'll work, but it's just an idea I've been kicking around, so it's still in the design phase, so we'll see how it goes. My other run of bad luck, the day I actually had to work today, he came out to fix the well pump, but when I got back home, I looked up, and you probably can't see them, but I've got 2 sprinklers out there for my aerobic system, and they were just barely trickling. So I pulled my cap off my clean water tank and pulled the pump out of it, and the motor was completely fried. So $300 later, I replaced the motor for the not the aerator pump, the aerobic system pump for the sprinkler system, and got that taken care of. So I was feeling pretty confident with myself. So I went to the next day, take care of the garden, try to cultivate it, get all the weeds out from between it, and sorry, my kids are fussing in the background. Went to crank the cultivator, and it ran fine for the first row around the green beans, and went up the second row, and metal started clanking, and it made a hellacious racket, and then it died, and it won't crank again, and you can't hardly pull it. So I'm fighting the warranty people right now, trying to get them to replace it. They want to fix it, and I don't see how they can justify fixing a $200 cultivator when it's going to cost $150 in labor just for them to look at it. But whatever, it's their money. So But anyway, I kind of wanted to give you what's been going on with me, and let you know about my SHTF situation. It was interesting to say the least, but definitely an eye-opener. In hindsight, I'm kind of glad it happened because it let us know where we're lacking, and water is definitely something we're lacking. So anyway, I've kind of ran a little longer than I wanted to, so I will let y'all go. But I appreciate you watching, and I will talk to y'all later.